the race was action packed. We had a ton of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stories coming in that people were really clued in on, and the race went the complete opposite in both classes. My fantasy is, dude, I've got like 20 points. Like, dude, it's seriously, it's awful.
I gave up on fantasy a long time ago just for that reason.
I remember,
although who would have guessed it last night? I mean,
no, that was nuts. Yeah, it absolutely insane. Like, where do we start? You know, like,
well, let's start 250.
gotcha.
Let's start 250 heat races, I guess. So I don't know if I'll plan to do this each weekend, but I watched everything through from. I watched it all, and usually I kind of like will skip stuff, and I'm sort of like I'm kind of a fair weather race fan, Dave. I don't know if I'm a very good fan of motocross, you know? Like I'm kind of in, I'm out, I'm not fully committed. Sometimes I'll watch, sometimes I won't.
I hate
But
this so
I watched
much.
the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. You want to know the first thing that I was impressed by?
What's that?
And also when I say I'm in and I'm out, and like I don't know half the people, especially now. So Cole Davies, don't know who that is. Looks fantastic.
Dude,
Such good, very good
yes.
technique.
Yes.
Was this his first pro Supercross race? I would guess. I don't know.
First pro Supercross race. So it was crazy because I didn't think that we would see Davies line up until sometime next year. I thought he would be a complete futures guy. However, he had a very good run at, I think it was Mini-O's and maybe a Pro-Am before that, where it looked like someone had plucked a season 250 guy and put him right, on the starting gate with all these guys. Form is phenomenal. And even,
Yep.
I can't remember, was it the heat race, I think? He was behind Deegan and
Right.
didn't look like he was out of place. Usually we see guys
Not at all.
when in their first pro race,
Not at all.
pushing the front, getting a little over anxious, maybe attacking things a little bit too hard, a little bit too much effort in transitions. He looked like this was like his third or fourth season.
Yeah, I didn't see him make a single mistake. And that was why I'm like, oh, I don't know this person. Like, let's watch really close because he gets the whole shot. Like I was honestly watching this whole race with a different perspective than I normally would. And that like, I was watching it through the lens of mindset, I guess, and just like trying to get into these guys' heads and think about like how certain people would be thinking in certain scenarios. Because what I've learned over the last 2 years, especially, is like, it's all up here.
It is. It
At
really
that
is.
level, it's all up there. There's not much separating these guys at all. Most of them are fit. The ones that aren't quite fit enough usually aren't quite fit enough because something up here has stopped them from getting fit enough.
Bikes are all good.
So I watched him. The bikes are great.
Yeah.
So I watched him get the whole shot. I think Deegan gets by him right away. And then he just kind of hung on to his back wheel for a little bit. And Deegan pulled away, but he didn't look like he was trying too hard. No. His upper body didn't really move at all. His footwork was pretty good, but his upper body was very upright, super stable, sort of like Justin Cooper style, jet style, just like really, really elbows up and upright. He didn't put a foot wrong the whole time. Yeah. For his very first heat race. Usually, heat races are
notorious,
stressful.
Yes, for mistakes. Notorious for mistakes.
Yeah, because they just feel like everybody's going way too fast.
Yep.
Especially at A1, where the nerves are high and like nobody knows where they're going to fall into place yet. He just looked, I was really impressed by that. I'm like, who is that? Where do you know where he's from? Is he like
he's
American?
He's an Aussie, I think. That he rode. You might have seen him last year, honestly, in futures. I think he rode a KTM last year. But dude, he got signed by Star and immediately looked comfortable on the bike. And I'm always impressed with people who can go from like training for years on one brand, make the switch, and have a immediate success. Because like all the bikes are good, all the bikes are fast, but they do have their nuances. They are a little bit different, like the bar setup, foot peg placement, the whole rider triangle is a little bit different. Power delivery, but he hopped in that bike, man, and immediately, to me, it looked like it was a regular Star Yamaha practice when he was in his heat race. He looked like he had like that level of comfort,
Yeah, it is helpful to have the person that you've been practicing against and training with next to you. I remember the year that I was with Jet and Hunter every day. And even the year before that, so I can't, I'm getting the years mixed up now. The first year I think I was on Jet's coast was before I was training with them. But even when Jet would be next to me on the track for very brief moments that I was next to him on the track, I would feel comfortable because I just kind of like, it was predictable and it just felt like I felt safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But especially with the brief moments that I was around Hunter the following season, I really felt at home. Anytime he was near me, like if I was lined up next to him or even a time qualifier next to him or he went by me at any point, it just felt like, okay. Like it would almost bring you right to the practice track.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. I really liked seeing.
Is Mary doing the dishes?
What's that?
Is Mary doing the dishes like Allie style?
God, dude, she's popping in and out of the room and everything, dude, consistently. But I really like that Davies didn't have. I've said it before. Didn't have like that new guy nervousness. You know what I mean? Like all these kids when they first go pro, no matter who they are, dude. We're talking AC, Barsha, whoever it is. Usually they have a sense of like over urgency to the point where it's like, slow down, you need that racecraft. And holy crap, man, he
just like trying to prove a point or just like completely riding outside of themselves and just being outside of themselves.
Yes.
You could just tell that the movements were cool, calm, and collected.
Yes.
Which says so much. I mean, I'd be curious to kind of, speaking of the mental side of that. I mean, that takes some mental fortitude to hop into a race to get the whole shot and then to like not mess up. The few times that I got whole shots, and granted I was a mental absolute head case, but the few times in heat races that I got whole shots, I immediately completely overshot the triple or botched a rhythm or like, and that comes with in your head, knowing that you're going to mess up and like looking for the opportunity of when you're going to mess up. That is like how I would function at that point. So it's two very different types of thinking. If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.